Hello and welcome to Whiskey and Wool. My name is Shannon and I am going to do a little episode for you today about knitting, a tiny bit of spinning, but mostly about knitting and the things that I've been working on. I'm going to begin though, before I get into the wool and what I've been up to, I am going to take you into the future to see me doing a whiskey chat. I'm going to do one later this afternoon, this evening, by alone, sadly. I'm home, so I'm not with a friend or anybody. But I got really positive feedback on the whiskey chat with my friend, so I am going to look for more opportunity to do whiskey chats with other people because I think it was fun for me. I hope you enjoyed it too. Anyway, on to the whiskey chat. I will tell you where to jump to if you want to get straight into the wool. Hey, I'm gonna do the little whiskey chat with you. I had a viewer request that I do a tasting on this single malt right here. See if I can do the pronunciation. I believe it is pronounced Dalwhinnie. Dalwhinnie? Wait, I have help. This is the 15 year, which was the exact vintage that a viewer asked me to taste here. I have a pro who's going to pronounce it for you. 1 second.
Dalwhinnie.
Could you hear that?
Dalwhinnie. Dalwhinnie.
Let me tell you about them. They were established in 1897. This distillery changed hands many times for a while. It had kind of a rocky history. But before I actually tell you the history, let me tell you a little bit of what the distillery is known for. They got on my radar not only from the viewer, but before that, for being the highest distillery in terms of elevation. And Scotland is not mountainous like the way that US people think of mountains. It is so high. I think the altitude is 1164 feet. I have some pictures of some of the mountains and stuff in the region where this distillery is. It is also the distillery that gets the coldest. So this is why it came onto my radar, because the distillery was selected for the Game of Thrones single malts series for the House Stark family in that series. And that family, that house is the most northern and coldest house. So, and I looked earlier today, I was just, browsing, and I found that I could still get the Dalwhinnie. I think that's the way you say it. I think so. So I saw that you can still get their Game of Thrones House Stark whiskey. I actually saw it too in a local store recently, so I'm going to pick some up at some point. But since I had a request for this 15 year, I wanted to make sure I did this. So their history. The town also just has a population of 80, by the way. It was established by a man named John Grant, who quickly sold it to another man named A.P. Blythe. And they were the ones who actually coined the term Dalwhinnie, which roughly translates to meeting place. So that was how it got its name. But about 6 years later, it was sold, in the early 1900s, it was sold to a U.S.-based mega liquor conglomerate named Cook and Bernheimer, and they owned it until 1917. What makes that interesting is that those were actually the first Americans that were known to invest in the Scotch whiskey market. So that was kind of cool. And they actually bought it because they wanted to facilitate blended whiskey products. And it's been doing blended whiskey products production ever since. but they also do single malts. So production went ahead until 1934 when a large fire shut them down a little bit, and then they were ready to go again in 1938, but then barley shortages due to World War II started to happen, so that sort of slowed them down. And then they didn't really get up to full speed again till post-World War II in 1947. I actually don't know who owned it at that point, because I thought the conglomerate, let me just see, I thought Cook and Bamer sold it. Oh, yes, they sold it to McDonald, Greenlees and Williams Limited, which I think is a UK-based organization. I believe they still own it. Yeah, I think they still own it. Or they may have a new name, but it doesn't show that nothing I see shows that it changed hands again. So yeah, anyway, they reopened again in 1947, and then the next time that there was a big change there was in 1986 when they closed for a complete refurbishing and started to produce again. And it was in the 1990s that they were recorded as Scotland's coldest distillery at that point. So yeah, that is about all I can tell you about their the distillery, the history, the region. It looks spectacularly beautiful. Now let's talk about the whiskey. So I have my wee dram here. Oh, I forgot to put water in it. I'll be right back. Okay, I got my water in it. I always like to put a few drops because if you don't, the little bit of water just makes the flavors open up. It's more flavorful. Otherwise, you just kind of taste a lot of burn from the alcohol. So the water, even just a few drops, really seems to work. You can see I was a little sloppy with my water drops there. Okay, here we go. I smell like orange and cherry, and yeah, like almost like orange cake. Okay. Wow. Okay. It's really smooth. It's really good. I taste a lot of orange, and I keep expecting nuts, but there isn't nuts. It's not nuts. It's like it's not almond or walnuts. Caramel for sure. Some vanilla. It's not like I remember the whiskey we tasted last episode had like a buttery taste to it, and this doesn't really have that. I don't know. I haven't looked at anything about this whiskey because I always try to do a blind tasting so that I'm telling you what I'm tasting before I tell you what the experts say you should be tasting. So I don't know the barrel. I don't know what barrels and stuff they use, so I'm going to be finding that out along with you. I love the squat bottle too. I really love that versus like the tall thin ones. It's like kind of different. Okay, what should I be tasting? Oh, okay. So honey. Honey is the first taste, then citrus, apple peels, smoke, vanilla, caramel, and then walnuts at the end, which I didn't really notice. So big, crisp, dry, very aromatic, apples, vanilla, citrus. All right, so I guess that's apples and orange. The citrus I smell is definitely orange. Smooth, soft, long-lasting flavors of heather, honey, sweetness, apple peels, and vanilla. followed by deeper citrus, fruit flavors, and hint of malted bread. Yeah, not this strong buttery taste that you taste with American oak. So I imagine this isn't aged in American oak. Long lingering, surprisingly intense finish with that starts sweetly, then gives way to vanilla, apples, smoke, and malt. Interesting. Okay, so it's like it begins and finishes with these apple flavors. All right, let me see about the production of it because I do not know much about that. Okay. Okay, I did a lot of poking around on the internet and did not find anything about the barrels aside from a very general, usually oak and or ex sherry. So, I actually found one site that said they use American oak, but usually we know American oak imparts buttery flavors, and there's not any of that. So those are where you get with like the cake and cookie tastes in the whiskey, and there isn't any of that. So it's a little mysterious, maybe because it's more of a corporate run operation. That might be why we are not finding as much about their production. So the only way we'd know for sure is if we went on a tour, which they do have tours. And this is the first week since the pandemic that I have opened up searches for the scotch I'm tasting and to find that the distilleries are reopening for tours again. So they've been producing all along, but they've just been, because it's a very socially distanced process, that they're not ever working a lot, usually more than one person. Distance is no problem when you're a worker there. But tours are a different story, of course, because you're in a group. So yeah, they've reopened for tours. I think it's I imagine it's small groups. Oh, before I go, I have a question for you. I am going to order a whiskey advent calendar like I did last year, and I will be vlogging. I will be doing Vlogmas in December, so you'll get to see each day which I have a fiber advent coming and a yarn advent as well, and I want to do a whiskey advent. So my question for you, my viewers, who are enjoying the whiskey chat, is: do I do another Scotch whiskey advent calendar? I found one that has different because I barely touched the tip of the iceberg with the tastings. There are so many more to taste. Sorry, the birds are really, I have my window open and there's a bird feeder right there and they're just chirping away. Yeah, so I could do another Scotland-based whiskeys, or I could do American whiskeys, or what I'm interested in too would be Japanese whiskeys. So, question for you, would you like to hear more about Scotch whiskeys? Would you like to hear more of a variety? Would you like to hear about Japanese whiskeys? Yeah, and then I'll make my purchase based on that. So anyway, I hope you get to enjoy a dram of your own choice this evening or any evening whenever it is you're watching this video, and I will see you next time. Bye! I am so happy. I tried a new thing with lights and I'm so happy with the way it looks. I hope I like it in editing too. And I also figured out something else with the microphone, which I never knew about. A little setting adjustment, which I think is going to make it much better for editing. Anyway, it is the end of September practically. What is it? It's like it's Saturday, the 25th. Is today the 25th? I think so, right? 26th. It is the 26th. And like I said, I have no finished objects. So I am wearing a t-shirt by Knitting is Metal. It is her 3 of Swords knitting t-shirt. So I don't know. It's like based on the tarot card 3 of Swords, but it's knitting needles and a ball of yarn for the heart, in a heart shape. She doesn't have these currently, but she has the other one, which I love, the death one that's based on death. She has that on her website right now. And she just makes really cool t-shirts. I follow her on Instagram and pick up a new tee whenever she comes up with a new design. All right. Oh, Martha's wearing the Shifty. That's because I have nothing else to put on her. Not even my whips. No, none of my whips would work for her either. The trials and tribulations of doing bottom-up knits or like starting on sleeves. So hopefully next time I will have a shawl. Actually, let me just jump right into talking to you about the shawl. This should be done by the next time I speak with you or film an episode. This is the Flutter and Fly shawl, which I showed you last time. I think it was the first. No, I had talked about it an episode prior to that, but I think I maybe barely cast on. But I'm almost done. I think I'm about 12 rows from the bottom. I think. So I have like, see this little color section right here, the stripey section, that is what I'm working on here on the bottom. Do that one more time, and then a section of the contrast color, then a picot trim bind off. I'm up to like 400 stitches now though, so the rows are going pretty slowly. I may actually add more of this color repeat than the pattern calls for because I have a lot of yarn left. Like, let me show you. So the yarn, this was oh, did I say what this is? This is the Chrysalis Kounty with a K shawl for the Flutter and Fly knit along that Christy Glass has organized with, do I have all the cards? With Asylum Fiber, so my yarn is by Asylum Fiber, and also Stitch and Hustle or 144 Stitches. I think Michele is the same. Those are two of her, also known as. So the three of them, Michele is the designer, Stephanie of Asylum Fiber made the yarn, and Christy is doing the marketing / community building stuff. But okay, I love this color. This purple is beautiful. It's spot on. It's based on an actual butterfly that is known as the purple hair streak, and the colors are really spot on the colors of the purple butterfly. So really, really pretty. But, okay. This is what I have left of my second skein of purple. And I have a third skein still, and I really will be surprised. So I have 2 more pro rows, or 2 more like garter rows, 4 more garter rows that I need to do with this, and then the picot bind off. And I'm like, a full skein for a picot bind off? I don't think I'm going to need a full skein. So it seems like I'm just going to be dipping into this a tiny bit. So I think I'm going to go ahead and add more stripes just to kind of use up a little more of the yarn. This is the amount of the brown I have left. So this color is called Flutter. The purple is called Purple Hair Streak. And they're very complementary to each other. Like this one has some purple overtones, and this one has some brown overtones. I really, really love it. I think it's going to be a really nice warm shawl. I mean, I realize by adding more rows, it's going to get a little bit longer. But I was looking at it, and it's really not all that long yet. I don't know. I guess it'll grow in blocking too. Yeah, can't hurt. I mean, I was figuring out it would add, if I added like doubled the amount of stripes, I'd add about that much, like 6 inches, maybe 5 inches to each end, which is not that much. Not that much. I know it'll add to my picot bind off situation, but it's been a long time since I've done a picot bind off edge, and yeah, so I have a feeling it will take a while. I'm just planning on it taking a couple nights, maybe even more, to get it done. Though I have to say, I was wondering about the yield. So this morning, about how much yarn did I mess up somewhere? Why was I having so much extra yarn? So I took a look at some of the other projects on Ravelry, and there was this woman who made the shawl in 2 days. She started and finished in 2 days. And she said it was such a fast knit. And I was just like, wow, 2 days. I mean, what happened to me was I got to that first section of lace, and then I just was like, that was a bit of a slog for me, like going through the lace. But when I got to the second section, which was twice as long, I just gritted my teeth and powered through it. Because it just wasn't, it's slow. It just goes slow because you're working on pretty big needles. They're US size 9 needles, which are for my non-US people, US size 9, 5.5 millimeter needles, and you're making big yarn overs, so it's just slippery, slow going and slippery. So the thing that I worked on the most over this last couple weeks is my granddaughter's baby blanket, rainbow baby blanket. My granddaughter's not here yet. She might be here by the next time I do an episode. We'll see. She's, I think the due date is a little over 2 weeks away. It's very close, getting there, about 2.5 weeks away. So we'll see. And I think I'll have this done by her birthday, by her actual day of birth. So yeah, this is my rainbow blanket. I think last time I showed it to you, I think I was still in the orange. So I've knit all of this. I'm in the blue section, and then after blue, there's a purple section, and that's it. I started here on the red section, and I am holding 2 strands together of fingering weight yarn, one solid, one marled, pretty much through the whole thing. That was sort of my MO in terms of putting together the colors. I actually started with a 6 skein mini, mini set. I was going to say mini set, but it wasn't mini. It was 50 gram sets. 6 skeins of 6 solid colors from Neighborhood Fiber Company. She did not have the pink, so hers were the red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and then the purple, which I'll show you. I have to show you my bag too. It's really pretty and new. Yeah, so that's the purple. So that was her set, and then what I did was I pulled scraps and minis that I just had laying around and put together the minis in such a way that it would create a fade. And I added in, I had about 45 grams of a bright pink, hot pink skein from Cat Sandwich Fibers that I used. I squeezed in because I quickly figured out that I wanted the blanket to be a little bit longer than what the 6 50 gram skeins was going to give me. So I added 2 unique sections to those 50 gram skeins. One was this pink section, and then the other was this sort of light green fade to turquoise section that I just put together using some solid minis that I had, and then pairing them with speckled high color minis. I'm about halfway through the blue right now. This mini set from Neighborhood Fiber Company, they're very, very solid, and they're really saturated colors. So they're really, really deep colors, which I really love it. When I first got it, I was kind of bummed that it seemed kind of dark, especially on the green, blue, purple side. But I really, really love the way it's knit up. I think it's knit up really nicely. And yeah, so adding those 2 extra sections, I think I will end up with a blanket that's about 3 feet. Okay, sorry about that. I had a little tech issue that took me a little bit to fix, but I was in the middle of talking to you about this when it happened. I think I got cut off where I was telling you the size. So the size is about 40 inches by 60 inches is what it's going to end up being. So I'm holding it in half right here. So you can see it's like, Yeah, I was aiming for crib size, but it actually might end up being the size of a nice throw that she can put on, use even when she moves into a twin bed, which will be great. So, yeah. So that is my rainbow blanket. I should have it done next time I record. I may not even have it here next time I record because I might, if I finish it and I'm seeing them again, seeing my son and daughter-in-law, I'll bring it to them. So I may not have this for you, but I'll talk about it and show you a picture. I'll do like a brief overview and show you a picture in my FO section of the episode. Oh. Tech issues. Apparently, Macs have this built-in power nap thing that can really cause trouble. All right. I am keeping that blanket. I just shoved it back in. I got the Hohe & Co. sling bag that I have wanted for quite a while. She did a shop update. Must have been about 3 weeks ago because her shipping is so fast. Like you order, for me, like I'm in New Jersey. She's in Buenos Aires. Is it Buenos Aires? Yes, I think so. Anyway, I get it within by 5 days for sure, sometimes quicker. But yeah, this was a shop update. This is the black one. It had, this was one of the seconds, so she did a warehouse clearance with her seconds. And I think what made it a second is this right there. You see that? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. It's like a burn mark or something that was probably on the hide, or some sort of damage to the hide before they dyed it and stuff. But yeah, it's really cool. So you can like put it over your shoulder like that. And I have the entire blanket shoved in here and the extra yarn that I need to finish it. So this could really be a very cool, and an adjustable strap. It could be a very cool regular bag too. And what she does is she ships it in a muslin bag, which you can then put into your bag. I have it holding my spare yarn, so you can put it into your bag to keep your project clean. It doesn't fit in my, this is the bag, whoops. Yeah, it doesn't fit, it's very big. It doesn't fit my blanket anymore. But yeah, so yeah, you could keep that clean or keep it separate from other things that you might have in there. But yeah, it's really cool. I was so happy to get it. So I've been kind of carrying it around like this. It's really big and generous, so it's great for big projects like this blanket. Pretty, right? I think that, although she keeps making new products, but I was gonna say, I think though that was the last thing that she makes that was on my wish list. I also got a t-shirt with it, which I should have put on. I didn't think about it because it would be new for you all to see too. I might go get it for the stash acquisitions. We'll see. Maybe my computer will crash again and I'll have another reason to go get up and do stuff. All right, my last whip. It's going to be a fast episode, I think. Is my Spark cardigan by Andrea Mowry. That would be probably my Rhinebeck #2 sweater if I was going to go to Rhinebeck. Yeah, so I finished the sleeve that I was working on last week. And what did I didn't do, oh yes, I did a couple mods actually. I do think that this is going to grow a bit. So if you're not familiar with the Spark cardigan, I'll put a picture on here. It is a bottom-up knit, and it's a cardigan which you steek. There are no buttons on it, and what else can I tell you? There's a belt. It is designed for Nest worsted weight yarn. Nest is a indie dyer. I believe they're on the west coast of the U.S. And the contrast yarn is meant to be Spincycle Dream State. I'm using very special yarn for my spark cardigan, which I'll tell you about in a minute. I just wanted to go back over the mods. I added one more increase than what the pattern called for in the sleeve because I kept trying it on and I kept going. Oh, and the cup is extra long. It's 5 inches because you're meant to fold it over like that, like so. And I thought, I know it will grow a little bit and such, but I just thought I might like a little extra comfort in the increases. I think I only did one more. 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6, 8. Oh, yeah, 10. I did 10. I think you're supposed to do 9. So yeah, there you have it. There's my sleeve. And I have my second sleeve too. I have it started. And this is how much I have of my second sleeve. So you can see like my color matching isn't too far off, though I think with this yarn, this is my contrast color is my own hand spun. It is a 3-ply 100% BFL from fiber from Into The Whirled. I talked all about how I made this yarn in its own video called episode number 81.5, which I'll put in here so that you can go right to it if you haven't seen it and you're interested in how I made the yarn, because I'm not going to spend time talking about that right now. So for my second sleeve, what I did, I pulled from the center for my first sleeve, and so I started off with this very dark section here. And then it went into this beautiful turquoise and then back into these olive tones. And I could see that it was going to stay in those golden olive tones for a while, and then it was going to switch back to dark. So I decided to pull from the outside of the cake to start this sleeve. And so what I'm seeing in there in the colors coming up is that it's going to be, so it's pretty dark at the beginning, and then it's going into rust, and then finally it'll get back into those green turquoisey colors for probably the top of the sleeve. And then I'll probably have about half of a ball left of this cake for the rest of the sweater. I have a whole other cake too, though. So I'll probably start the body with this one and then go from there. I think this one, so this skein ended up being a little more, it had a little less green in it for some reason. And I think it had a little more of the rust color, if I recall right, from when I did my initial. So there you go. You can see. So this one's a little bit lighter. There's a little bit lighter tones, I think, in this one. More light tones in this one than this one. Yeah. Yeah, so that is my spark cardigan so far. Yes, you make the sleeves, and then you knit the body, and then you knit from the bottom up, and then when you're done knitting from the bottom up to the armhole, you join your sleeves to your body, and then you finish the rest of the sweater. It's a raglan construction, I believe. Yeah, so Martha couldn't wear these because she doesn't have arms, but maybe soon I'll have enough of the sweater that I can at least pin it on her, on the bottom of her. Anyway, my main yarn, my main color yarn is this beautiful naturally dyed Cormo, 100% Cormo from Wing and a Prayer Farm. And I think they're in Vermont, somewhere in New England. But she's a very special maker of yarn. It's very expensive yarn, as you can see. It was $40 for one skein. Oh yeah, Vermont. There you go. It's right on there. But it's special. Tammy does. She is a featured speaker at Rhinebeck every year, and she brings her sheep. She has lots of different breeds. Oh my goodness, focus. There we go. So you can see the sheep names, 8 sheep names up at the top. And then the color name is right here, Old Fashioned Rose Petal. And she dyed it with a flower that I'm going to just put on screen and madder root. So that's why it's sort of this like beigey color. It's funny, you know, looking at it on the skein, it looks so much darker than it does knit up. I guess it's the blue yarn running behind it. Here, let me let me take this off. This sleeve, my sleeves. This is a look, right? Let me take this off so you can see it up close. But I think the yarn just looks so much, the main color looks so much lighter. Like I really think the blue running behind it is, yeah, sort of lightening it or something. Or maybe it's just like, you know, it's funny, beige and like even like the color of my walls and stuff, from working in the garment industry and doing color matching, beige is the hardest color to match, the hardest. That and black. That black is also quite hard. You'd be surprised how many shades of black there are and how many shades of beige. Like getting like buttons and thread and all the notions to match in the garment industry. When I worked in the garment industry many years ago, that was always our toughest. It would be too red, too yellow, too blue, one of those. But yeah, it's kind of comfortable as an arm warmer. There we go. Just I've got to work on this one. It's like all these color work patterns, right? They just move because you just want to see you want to get to the next row. And this little circumference is quite small. Sorry, my cat is acting up now. So you move really quickly on the sleeve there. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this being done. I love the way the gradient is working with this yarn. I'm curious to see what happens with the yarn when it moves over to the body. I have a couple things I want to show you about with future cast-ons. Do I do that before spinning? No, let me show you spinning real fast because I didn't do too much spinning. I had said this last time in my last episode that I got a lot of comments on my spinning video, the one where I talked about how I made this yarn. People telling me, or it was one comment, but many people liked it, which said to me, like lots of people thought this, where the woman had said, the viewer had said that I should just do a fractal spin instead of trying to make, like basically I was making it overly complicated. I should have just fractal spun. And in my head that wouldn't have worked, but in reality, like it might have made sense. Like I might have ended up with the exact same results as what it looks like right here. So I was curious to try fractal spinning with another yarn. Another fiber. So I have, let me show you the braid first. I had a braid that I just got from Amanda Solomon, who goes as Malleonated Bay, I think, or Babe, one or the other. I'm going to put it on screen. On Instagram and I think on Etsy, I think is where her shop is. So anyway, I got this beautiful superwash merino braid that is rust purple and this really vibrant mint green. So I have separated the braid, the roving braid, to make a 3-ply fractal spin just to see what happens. Instead of, managing the colors and overthinking it, which the comment seemed to imply. I don't know whether she meant it that way or not. I didn't take it badly. I just was like, oh my goodness, good point, actually. So I have spun one bobbin so far of Amanda's braid. So this is the shortest sections, the sections that are the shortest. So this is one 50-gram bobbin, which isn't full, so I'm guessing it's around 35 grams on here. Yeah, so the way you do fractal 3-ply or any fractal plied, you take the length of the braid, which would be like this really long, like probably 10 feet or 8 feet long stretch of roving. like pieces, like continuous piece like this. And you divide it in half, or in my case, I did thirds because I was doing 3-ply. So I went through and pulled the whole braid apart into 3 long strips, very long strips. And then one of them I left whole in 1 long strip, and that's actually on my spinning wheel right now. The second one I broke into 4 parts, so fourths. So I have 4. This is the second one. I think I have 4. Yeah. So it's 4 pieces, 4 strips, which then I can spin in any order. I think what I'm going to do is further split these down into halves, so I'll end up with 8 parts. So I'll just divide them down the side, because these are a little bit still very thick to be pulling unless I really do a lot of pre-drafting. So if I strip them down again, I won't have to pre-draft. And then the third one, so you pick an equation. So you do full, you could do half, or you could do fourths, or you could do eighths. You just keep going down. The last one, I did full, fourths, and then eighths. So this was 8 parts, and then I pulled those strips apart, so it really ended up being 16 parts. So in my case with this 3-ply, it's going to be full, 8 parts and 16 parts. So that's how you get a fractal spin. And we'll see the results. We'll see what happens. So you can see the way the color is laid out in the strip. The longer, or the thicker rather, the thicker this is, the longer these stretches will be. So if I thin it down, those will be smaller, but I can tell you from doing the other one that these are going to be pretty long stretches. So yeah, I think it'll be pretty. It'll be nice, but we'll see. We'll see if I get the same effect, if I get the same sort of color shifts that happened in this. Curious about that. So yeah, that's spinning. Haven't done much spinning. I don't have anything on I've got plenty of fiber, thank God, because there's a wool shortage. I don't know if you know, but there's a wool shortage right now. So many indie dyers who I follow have been talking about it, and a few of them have had to cut short some pre-orders and stuff because they're not now offering pre-orders based on yarn they think they can get. They wait till they get the yarn in the house and then they do the pre-ordering. Many people have changed up the ways they're doing advent calendars, or have just decided not to offer advent calendars at all because they can't get the wool. So yeah, I'm happy I have a stash because there's a wool shortage. And this weekend is Yarndale, so I don't know if you're participating in shopping and or any of the talks or lectures or anything like that. I haven't caught anything. I just have been caught up in my own stuff like at home, so I didn't get around to doing any of that. But I have to get more organized so that I can spend some time doing fun stuff like that. Okay, so I have some stashquisitions, which I showed you the knitting bag, and yeah, let me show you that, and then I'll show you my wannabe knits. I got this is so pretty. Can you see it well in the bag? I ordered a kit when the Kima sweater came out, the Kima sweater by Ching Fiber, which I made one. I'll put the episodes that it was in here so you can watch that if you haven't. Oh yeah, I'm glad I took this out. At the time that she did the pattern launch, she launched special kits, pre-order kits, and I ordered one that I thought would be really pretty. I didn't know whether I would do another Kima sweater or if I would do something else with it, but I just had to have it. So the yarn you're seeing on top is her Veronita base, which is a lace weight cashmere and silk. So I think it's like 70-30 cashmere silk, called Veronita. Oh, 79-21. I Paranita. In the colorway Charcoal, which is not one of her regular color offerings, though she might make it a regular now. And so that sweater takes a lace weight and then it takes a DK. And the DK I got is her colorway Panda. I actually have this. I have a sweater knit out of this colorway, but I bought it from her 3 years ago, and it is so different. I'm going to put a picture here because it is my rye layering tee, which is a pattern of my own design that I've knit about 4 or 5 versions of already. 4 for sure, maybe 5. I might have given one away. I can't remember. It's just a really simple layering tee pattern, top-down knit that you can really play around with stitch, whatever you want. It's designed for rib knit, but it works fine in other stitches too, including stockinette. It's just real simple, basic pattern, which is why I've knit it so much. But anyway, I used the exact same color, color name anyway, Panda, but on a different base. It was not as saturated, high saturated colors as this one is. I mean, look at those speckles. So yeah, this is very pretty. So yeah, that is meant to be a chemo where this would be on top and this would be on the bottom. I think, talk about shades of black. Look at that. These two charcoals are quite different, which is unusual for Ching fiber. Because she's usually pretty on the nose with her solids. Anyway, yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to do another chemo or what. It is just, going to sit in the stash for a while. I have so many things that I want to knit before the end of the year. One of them is this. So since I finished this, my Shifty, as I was working on it, I thought, oh my God, that would be an amazing pattern to do for Christmas in Christmas colors. And if you have watched me for a while, you'll know that I bought this beautiful blush pink yarn. This is Patisserie from Stranded Dyeworks. I apparently do not have a tag. I will get it. Here we go, from Stranded Dyeworks on her BFL nylon blend. So it's an 80-20 BFL. It's gorgeous. So I bought this to do a Christmas sweater, but it arrived too late for me I would have had to drop everything else I was knitting on to work it up. And I wasn't sure exactly. I waffled on what I wanted to make with it. And I ended up swatching it with her vintage Christmas color, and it just really, which I have here. It was really this is also very pretty. So this is also Stranded Dyeworks. This is Vintage Christmas. It's her colorway from 2018, I think. No, before that, 2017. Before I realized I don't like to knit socks. So yeah, this was, my plan was to put these two together, but it just is too low contrast. So I ended up popping in a mohair, and that seemed to work. I don't know where that swatch is, but I have now shifted gears. So this is out because it's too pale. And what I did was I pulled out all of my existing Christmas colors, which isn't a lot, but I ended up with, where is that bag? Here it is. Okay. So I pulled out this, which is gorgeous. This is Holly Drama by Lavender Loon. I actually used this in a Christmas sweater I knit in 2018. I used just a little bit across the top in a yoke that had trees, and I made them these bright jewel tone trees. But won't this look amazing with this? And I also have this colorway called Grinch from Garn Story. So my thought was to put these together in a Shifty. This is my main color down here, and then doing some striping with these guys. I need one more color though, at least. Oh, I swatched it so I can show you. So what I've done is I was able to order some of Amy of Stranded Dyeworks Christmas colors. This is Grinch with patisserie together in the Shifty pattern, so you could see it, see what it looks like. So it's not going to do the color shifting, the color transitions that the Spincycle does, but I think it'll be pretty. My thought is, so I ordered from Amy, I ordered her color from last year, which I never got, which is Gingerbread House, and then I ordered a tangential color that she was making for 2020. She was making this color called Zooming Home for Christmas, which was not as jewel toned as this, as far as I could tell. Like, I think it was a little bit more like old fashioned Christmas colors, like deep gold, deep red, and deep green, where these are more poppy, bright red, and it also has blue in it. She made, you can watch her latest video, but she messed up. She had something wrong with her dye process, which she'll tell you all about it. But she ended up making a second color, just in a one-off of BFL. Actually, she had some other bases too, called Christmas is Canceled. And that ended up looking more plum and soft Christmas colors, but still pretty saturated, not as saturated as this, but pretty saturated. So I think that's going to be my third color. And my plan is to do, see, in the Shifty pattern, she has you do 6 sections, 6 of these mosaic stitch sections per color. So there's 6, 6, and then 6, and then I added 2 extra to get the length that I wanted. So I think I'm going to do instead sections of 4, since I'm not having the color transition thing. And I think I'll find out when the other 2 Christmas colors come. If I do sections of 4, I will have 5 sections to do in the body, and then I can just make the sleeves match. But so then it would be like 1 section here, then the 2nd section, 3rd section, 4th section, 5th section. So I think what I will do, since this is only a partial skein, I will start with one of the full skeins. Probably Zooming Home for Christmas would be on the top. Then it would be the Grinch color. Then it would be the Grinch color. Then it'll be the Holly Drama color, and then repeat. So then another section of Christmas is Canceled. Christmas is Canceled, Grinch, Holly Drama. Don't you love those names? Like, those in a nutshell are like my Christmas experience. Growing up, my mother always saying, Christmas is canceled, you ruined it. And then Grinch and Holly Drama. Yeah, perfect. I know you know what I mean. Christmas is never perfect. So Christmas is Canceled, Grinch, Holly Drama, Christmas is Canceled, Grinch. I think that'll be the way the colors will go. And it should be pretty similar. I probably will get maybe one more striping on here. I'm just going to repeat whatever striping pattern I end up with. I'll just repeat. I think Gingerbread House, I'll put a picture. I will have put a picture. I think the Gingerbread House color has too much white in it to do this contrast justice. So I do have another color from Lemonade Shop. That's pretty. It's a Christmas yarn, and it looks like it would stripe. It would be a stripe on a sock if you did a sock, like white stripe, green stripe. It has a lot of white, so I just don't think it's going to work very well. So that is one of my future cast-ons. I have a couple other, I've talked about it, some Christmas gift knits that I'm planning to do. I'll be making hats and things too for Christmas. I ordered some yarn today, actually, for hats, for gift knitting. Oh, my one last cast-on. I am I was tempted and went stash diving for and was successful, which that makes the difference. I didn't have to buy anything. So I am going to participate in Stephen West's fall make-along. I have not done a Stephen West make-along since the building block shawl, which was 2016 or 17. I don't remember which year. I hated mine. It's gone. It's long gone. I don't have it anymore. It was so ugly. I knit it out of hedgehog fiber sock base, which at that time was very splitty. So it wasn't fun. I mean, I enjoyed the community part of it, but the colors that I chose, I just didn't like it. I didn't like the way it came out. It just wasn't me. So that really burned me on mystery knit-alongs, and I skipped the next couple. I think I skipped the next 3 actually, because he showed what he did. He did texture time, and then there was another one in there that was really pretty. I didn't love texture time all that much. This one is called Slip Extravaganza. I don't know. I'm going to put it on screen so you can see it. But I was able to find a color combo that I think will work. I am much more skillful at putting together colors for Stephen West knit-alongs. It takes work. Like you really, there's a lot of value to buying his kits or buying kits that he puts together or assist the yarn people, dyers, in putting together. But these were all in my stash and they seem to work beautifully. And they're also, some of this is old stuff, so I'm happy to be using it. So those are my colors right there. This is a very neon yellow. It's washing out a little bit. Let me go through them for you. This one here is going to be my main color, where you need 2 skeins. So it's a 5 skein project. You need 4 colors. So those are my 4 colors. And he recommends either picking for so 2 skeins of the same color. So I have the 2 skeins of this. He recommends either going with a solid, semi-solid, or a speckle, and then your other 3 would be speckle, or you can do all solids, of course, always, but not all speckles. So if this one was speckled, the other 3 should be solids, but if this is solid, the other 3 could be speckles. So I have actually ended up with a poppy neon color, and then 2 speckled yarns. This is from the Periwinkle Sheep. It is in the colorway The Warm U. I bought this so long ago. The Warm U is a local yarn shop in upstate New York, just in a town in Chatham, New York, which is just a little north of Hudson or a little south of Albany, New York. So it's a beautiful little town, very cute. I bought this 2 years ago, 2 springs ago, in 2018. And it's been in my stash for quite a while. I just really loved it. It's such a beautiful, saturated blue-green color. My poppy neon is Lemon Zest from Trey Liz. I bought a Trey Liz mystery pack where she just sends you 3 skeins of whatever, and I don't think I used any of them. I might have used one of them, but this came, and this is always a color that I look at, and that I would look at, but not actually probably buy for myself. But I was happy to have this in my stash. I knew it would come in handy for a Stephen West knit at some point. These other 2, put those down. These other 2 are Garn Story. I collected a lot of single skeins of Garn Story over the years. I've knit sweaters out of her yarns. I love her yarns. Her color sense is spectacular, and she really just puts color together in a really awesome way. So I still have quite a lot of single Garn Story. I joined her club for a while, for like months and months, probably even over a year. So I was getting a couple skeins every month for a long time. So I have a lot of it in my stash. I'm happy to finally use some. I also shop her she just had one recently where she does sales where you just select the base and then she gives you like it's mystery bags or whatever. You know, a lot of indie dyers do that. So I stopped buying from her for a while because of COVID. So, and she couldn't ship to the US, but she can ship again. So I have a couple things on the way that I'll share with you when they get here. But yeah, so these are older yarn that had been in my stash for a little bit, for at least a year, if not a little longer. Both ones that I didn't pick for myself, they just came. They were either club colors or, in this case, probably club color or mystery skein colors. So this one's called Cosmic. It's really beautiful. It's got a lot of turquoise, like pale turquoise and pink in it. So I thought that the blue greens in it would really work well with the periwinkle sheep teal. And the other color, this one's called Piccadilly, and same thing, this has that deep teal in it as well as pops of green and purple. And I just thought, like, together these are just going to bring the right amount of color to my slip extravaganza shawl. So yeah, I'm super excited about this knit along. So this starts, so I found them, I found the colors, I caked them. Wait, let me see if I can get the green, the lemon zest on there too. There we go. I found them and I caked them. The knit along starts October 9th. My granddaughter is due October 14th. We don't know if she's going to make it to the due date. The baby may be early, so I don't know if I'll be able to keep up, but this will be a fun knit, whether I keep up or not. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Yeah. I'm excited to do something with other knitters because it is so, it's been hard, like not being able to get together for festivals and stuff. Usually I would be anticipating Rhinebeck right now, and you know, all of that. So I was also thinking, like with my Christmas sweater, I wish that someone was doing a Christmas sweater knit along. But you know what? I get a lot of inspiration from Amy's festive sock along, even though I don't knit socks, just like looking at the socks and the colors and the way the colors go together and the, you know, interpretation of what makes a festive sock, like for winter festivities or whatever. So yeah, so there's that. There's that. Yeah, I think that's going to be so pretty. Anyway, I hope you're well. I hope you're doing well. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you got a little time to knit and relax and watch. I don't know when my next episode will be up. It really depends on the baby. It could be right on schedule 2 weeks from now, or it might be several weeks from now. You can watch, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see posts when that happens. I'm so glad you were able to spend some time with me today. I hope you got a chance to relax and enjoy a beverage of your choice. And thank you so much for being here. Please like and hit the thumbs up and like the video if you liked what you saw, and hit subscribe if you want to see my next videos as they come up. And I look forward to spending more time with you next time. I hope you have a good next couple weeks. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I will see you again soon. Bye.